Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Trailhead Explanation. In this video, we are going to cover unit Run a Flow Within a Flow from the module Flow Builder Logic. So here in this unit, we are going to cover the concept of subflow. So how can we create subflow and from where we can launch those and implement or use them in our flow logic. But before we move ahead with our this unit's challenge, we have to make sure that we complete first unit of this module, which goes by the name define multiple paths in a flow. So this is mandatory because we are going to make modification in that particular flow which we had built in our unit 1 challenge. So make sure you are using the same playground in which you have completed your first unit. So without wasting any time, let's quickly go back to our flows, and we are going to create a new flow that will be an auto launched flow. So let's go back here and select this new flow button, and this time we are going to create an auto launch no trigger flow. Just create this. Now, next is we have to create a text variable by the API name product KW, and this will be available for input. We have to check this option. So let's go back again here and click on this left toolbox icon we have. We will be creating a new resource, and the resource type will be of variable. API name I'm going to paste, which I have copied from the challenge. Now this time data type will be text, and it has to be available for, and we have to select this checkbox. And the usage of this checkbox, I'll explain or show you later in the video when we will see this in execution. That's all, just click on done. Now, next is we have to create another text variable by the API name opportunity ID, and this again will be available for input. So let's just go back here, create a new resource. Resource type is going to be variable. API name I'm going to paste here. This will be text data type, and this has to be available for input. Just click on done. Next, another text variable that we are going to create is price book ID. Again, this is going to be available for input. So here we go with the variable resource type, API name I'm going to paste here. Data type will be text, and this is going to be available for input. So we have made 3 variables, all of our text type, and we are making them available for input. Available for input basically means that this variable will be available to capture some data coming from outside of this flow. So here we are creating this auto launch flow, we will develop in such a way that it is going to work as subflow to the flow which we had developed in our first unit's challenge. So we'll see all that later in the video, and at that point I'll also give you the demo of what function this available for input text variables are actually playing. So moving ahead, we have get record element by the label get product, and we have to use this condition requirement where we have to fetch only those product where name contains product KW. So let's just go back here again, click on this plus icon, use this get record element, label it get product, and object we are going to select product, as we are going to fetch the product records where name contains product KW. So this is what we have implemented. We are getting the filtered records of product where name contains product KW. Rest of the settings, we are not going to change anything. Just click on done. So we now have product KW in their name. Now, next is again, we are going to use get record element where we are going to get the price book entry records where price book ID equals to price book ID and price to ID equals to product from get product ID. So let's just go back here again, click on this plus and select this get record element. Now here the object will be price book entry. Condition is where price book So here we are associating our price book entry to the price book whose ID is stored in this text variable which we had created few minutes back. And left hand side you can see, so this variable right now does not have any value, but when we'll associate this auto launch flow to our main flow, then this price book ID variable will hold some value coming from our main flow. That's why we had make that available for input checkbox as true, because that this variable, all these three variables will get their values or IDs, be it opportunity ID, price book ID, or product KW. All these values we'll be getting from our main flow. And we are referencing over here where I want all the price book entry record where they are associated to price book whose ID we are getting from our main flow, which is stored in the variable price book ID. So this is what we are doing over here. Now, next is the condition requirement where product to ID equals to get product. So get product is the get record element which we created over here, this one. So we are referencing to that get product ID. So let's just go back here and add another condition. And I'm saying that product to ID equals to get product ID. So in the get product, we were fetching where the name contains product KW. So we are using this. We are fetching that ID and filtering out our price book entry record where associated product ID is ID from this get record element. So basically, we are filtering out here our price book entry based on price book to ID and price product ID. That's all. Just click on done. Now here's a slight change that we have to do in our get product element. We have to, instead of making this as static value, we have to use this variable. So make sure you use this variable, text variable, which we created at the beginning of the unit. So this product KW value will be again coming from our main flow. So that's why available, that's what available for input will do, that it is going to fetch the value from our main flow, and we are comparing or using it in our filter condition to fetch the product records. So just click on done. Now, next ahead, what we are going to do is we are going to create record and label it as create op product. So let's just select the create record element, label it. Then we are going to create only one record and we are going to use separate resource and literal values. So the record that we are going to create will be of opportunity product, or you can say opportunity line item, where we are going to specify all these values. So let's just go back there and select the second option, how to set the record value. So we are going to use separate resources and literal values. So let's just select opportunity product from here first. Now here, the very first field that I want to pre-default is opportunity ID. So let's just say opportunity ID will be coming from our available for input text variable opportunity ID. So again, this value will be coming from main flow, and we are assigning that value to our opportunity product field opportunity ID. So we are basically associating our opportunity line item or opportunity product to this opportunity ID. So this is just a lookup field. Next up, we have price book entry, and we are going to get this ID from get PB record element. So this is the same element API name which we had created few minutes back over here. We were fetching the price book entry record based on our two condition requirements. So we are going to assign price book entry ID on opportunity product record using that get record element. So let's just say over here that I want to assign price book entry, or I am associating my order line item with this price book entry where the value will be from get PBE ID. Then next is the quantity. So quantity is simply we have to set the static value, which will be 1. Then total price, we are again going to fetch it from get PB record element. And let's just say we are using unit price field of that price book entry. So let's just add another field of opportunity product total price. So the default value that it is going to store will be from get price book entry, get record element, and we are going to use unit price field to store the value for the total price. So these are the default values that we are using or we are assigning at the time of creation of opportunity product record. So just click on done and we are good with our record creation of opportunity line item. Now we have to simply save and activate our flow by the label subflow create a generator or product. So let's just go back here and click on save, label this, click on save again. Now, next up, we are done with our subflow. It's all set. Now, next, what we have to do is we have to make this. So auto launch flows does not work on its own. They need some maybe Epix class, REST API, or some other flow to or some other process execute their logic. So in our case, we are using another record triggered flow, which we had already created as part of our first unit challenge. So that was generator product to name ops flow. So we add generator products to named op flows. So this is the flow that we are going to modify and then use this subflow from this flow, main flow. So we are going, so if you remember that in our this add generator product to named ops flow, we had all these things done over here. Like we were getting the product, we were getting the price book entry, and then we were creating the opportunity product record. Now all of this thing, because all these three elements that we are using for 1500 kilowatt outcome and for 2000 kilowatt outcome are almost similar, just the value maybe 2000 or 1500. That's only the difference in these two paths, decision outcome paths. So what we have done is we have taken up that common logic and implemented in our subflow, and then we are going to use that over here. So as we are going to associate that subflow into our this record triggered flow, we do not want redundancy in our flow. So that's why all this logic we have implemented in our subflow. So we are going to delete all of this. So create 1500 op product. So we are going to delete this first of all, starting from below. We are going to delete this, then delete this one as well, just deleting all of this. So now we have deleted our logic that we have already implemented in our subflow. Now next is we have to now add the subflow that we have created for each path. So what we are going to do is on the 1500 kilowatt path, add a subflow element and reference the flow that we are going to reference is subflow create generator of product. So let's just go back there and I'll go to this, click on plus here and select this subflow option. And we are going to select this subflow create generator of product. So now the label that we are going to give is create 1500 of product. So now you see that all those three variables, text variables, which we made available for input in our subflow are now coming up over here. Opportunity ID, we are going to include it. Price book ID, we are going to include it. And product KW, we are going to include this as well. Now, all these three text variables we are going to send values from here, our main flow, to the subflow, which we are referencing through this subflow, the reference flow field from here. So all these value that we are going to select here will be given to the subflow. Now, all these we have included. So for opportunity ID, we are going to pass the record ID, that is triggering opportunity record ID. So let's just say record.id. This is what we are going to send in this variable. Then for price book ID, we are going to select price book from get price book ID. So let's just go back here. So this is the variable get price book, and I'm going to send get ID from here to this variable to our subflow. Then for the product KW, I paste this over here. So now all these three values will be stored in these three variables. Now this time product KW will have 1500 value, and then it is going to proceed ahead in the similar fashion. Like for price book entry, it is going to fetch the ID, which we are passing from here, get price book ID. So just click on done, and all these values will be passed to the subflow text variables, which we have made available for input. Now, next is on the 2000 kilowatt path. We have to again reference this subflow, and we are going to label it as 2000 of product. So let's just add another subflow here, referencing the same create generator of product. Label it as 2000 of product. We are going to pass all these values where opportunity ID is from record.id. Then price book ID will be from get price book id, and this time product KW will have 2000 as value. So just click on done. Now next is we have to update our decision element as well. To add a new outcome, label it as 1000 kilowatt, and condition outcome will be record name contains 1000. So we are adding another decision outcome. So let's just go back here, open up check op name decision element, click on this plus icon, and I'll be pasting the label over here. Name, I'm going to check record dot name contains 1000. This is the new decision outcome that we have added. Click on done. Now, next is we have to update the path for 1000 kilowatt as well. So again, we are going to reference that same subflow and label it as 1000 our product. So let's just go back there. Now you see we added one more decision outcome. So one more path has been created over here. Again, we are going to reference subflow, the same subflow create generator or product. Label, we are going to give it out as 1000 or product, and we are going to include all of these input variables where op ID will be record.id. Price book ID we are going to get from price book record element, get price book record element, and we are going to use ID of that price book. Here product KW will have 1000 as value. Just click on done. Now the only thing left for us is save and activate the flow. So let's just go back again, click on save as. We are going to create a new version. This option should be selected. Just click on save. It seems like our subflow isn't active. That's why we got this validation or warning error. So what we are going to do is we are going to first activate this. Our subflow, we are going to activate that. And then we are going to activate our main flow. So if I'll just refresh this, this warning should not appear. There you go. So we have added our subflow, and we have referenced all the input variables in our main flow so that the value can be passed to our subflow. So that's all we had to do. Simply check challenge to earn 500 points. So we have got one error. We cannot find a subflow element named create 2000 or product. So let's just see whether we have made any mistake in the name of our. Okay, so what we have done wrong here is we forgot to add create before 2000. So this is the label that we have to give. Now it seems correct. Just click on done again, save as, activate it again. Now let's just go back and click this button again. Again, we have received the same error for 1000 as well. Let's just go back here. I don't know how we missed this label thing. First of all, remove the API name, then label and paste the one. Click on done, save as, save again, and activate it. So now everything looks fine. Just click on this button again, and hopefully this time we are going to pass all these parameters. There you go. This unit is completed. Hope I was able to convey the concept and you were able to understand. Let me know if you have any suggestions regarding my explanation, and I'll try to improve it. That's all for today's video. See you in the next video with another unit or module. Till then, take care. Thank you so much.